Hey, what's happening, family? This is Frederick Nick Nicholson. I am the music director for the Denton Black Film Festival, and you have joined us in our first Soul Talk, where we're featuring some great music artists. So I want you guys to kick back and relax. You may want to get some popcorn because we have some very, very special guests here tonight. I want to take a minute to recognize our long-standing and great sponsor, NBC5 Texas Connects Us. So they have been a big supporter of all our efforts at the Denton Black Film Festival, and this is just another great outlet that we have to stay in touch with our people throughout the year. So without any further ado, I want to let you guys know tonight we have a great show with two dynamic musicians. I should say three dynamic musicians. It's sort of a father and his two of his sons who are doing some big things in the music business. And I want to just take a little time out to introduce you to them. We've got Nat Irvin, who has spent some time in Denton. And hey, what's up, Nat? How you doing, brother?
How you doing there, Nick?
Man, I'm great, man. And it's just I've heard so much about you, and just glad to meet you here through this Zoom, through this platform. I shouldn't say Zoom because we're not Zooming, but anyway.
But
And
it's like Zoom-like, right?
exactly, Zoom Light, exactly, yeah. And then we got two other gentlemen that they really need no introduction, but since I'm a little bit older and many people out there might not be familiar, we got some people from the Wonderland camp. That is, you guys are familiar with Janelle Monáe and some of those great artists out there that have been all over the world, movies, music, film, you name it, they do it all. These gentlemen, Nate Rocket Wonder, I should say. What's up, Nate?
How's it going? Thank
All
you for
right, man.
having
And
us.
then his brother, Roman GianArthur. So these three are family, and I'm just kind of joining the family. So hey, I'm glad to be here to be a part of this soul talk. You guys feeling good tonight?
Feeling
Man, we glad to
fantastic.
be
Thank you for
here.
having us.
Man, I don't know
Glad to
where to
be here.
start, man. Yeah, I don't know where to start. So I guess I'll just start with like we have a connection to Denton because
Yes.
we're I know Nat went to school here and worked
Yeah.
here, and then were both of you born in Denton?
Yes, we were both born in
We
Denton.
are
Oh man,
whole
that is
family.
amazing, man! What a full circle,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, that's just amazing, man. So I'm gonna say a little bit about you guys because I know the world out there knows a lot, but just for those of you who don't know, so you guys are familiar with Wonderland Music Society, so Art Society, I should say. So Nate Rocket Wonder is co-founder of Wonderland, and he's done music with plenty of people, including, like I said, Janelle Monáe. He's produced music with man, I mean, Dirty Computer. I know that track. Deep Cotton and Roman. You're an artist and a producer. I see, and you've done
Indeed.
lots of music. And I had no idea that Classic Man was your track that you were on. So man, that's just it's amazing stuff out there, man, that you guys have been doing. And Nat, I can't leave you out. You're a professor up in Louisville. Go Cardinals,
That's
right?
right.
All right,
Absolutely.
okay.
Yeah.
So everybody knows about the Louisville Cardinals. So
Yeah.
hey, we're here to talk about any and everything, but especially about music and about film. And you guys have been in the film industry here recently with some soundtrack music, I understand.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yes.
great, man. That is
Yes.
fantastic. So I mean, where you guys want to start, man? I mean, it's just like I uh I saw Antebellum and realized you guys were part of that. So I guess we'll go back. How did you guys meet Janelle Monáe and kind of get into that whole circle of creativity?
Met Janelle um, at an event that we were hosting at Morehouse College. So another founder of Wonderland, Chuck Lightning, and had started had founded an arts organization called the Dark Tower Project with another one of our Wonderland members, Mikhail Moore, and this was at Morehouse. And this was created in order to provide space for artists to just kind of gather together on campus. And so at that event, Mikhail invited Janelle, who he had met on the steps of the library earlier that day because she was hosting a concert there. He invited her to be the intermission act. And I was one of the judges for that evening, which was a poetry slam. And but during the intermission, when Janelle sang, I basically stopped focusing on everything else and was like, we got to figure out how to get her to the studio immediately. And so that was my focus after that point. And she came over, and we've been working together ever since.
Now, was she a student in Atlanta or just coming through town?
She was a student, but also she had just left school in New York, where she was studying acting and musical theater, basically.
Okay.
And so she was living in a boarding house in the middle of it, the AUC, which is Morehouse, Clark, and Spelman. There's like a nexus right there in the center, and where there was a little boarding house, and she was staying in that little boarding house, paying as much money as she had at the time to live there in the AUC. So she wasn't going to school at any of those schools. She was trying to have the college experience and was trying to pursue her real dreams, which were to pursue music.
Oh man, that's just an amazing story, man.
She just taking the risk.
Now, were both of you students at Morehouse together?
No, I was a student at Morehouse. Roman was a student at Wake Forest University in North Carolina.
All right. That's what's up. My son lives in Raleigh, so I know about that area a little bit. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. We'll triad love.
So Nat, did you know early on that these gentlemen would be like pursuing music the way they ultimately did, or I mean, you got to give me some background of, because I'm fascinated with just offspring of musicians that sometimes they run far away from the arts and music, but in this case,
you framed it really right well, Nick. I will say that our home has always been a rich garden of music, and it goes deeper. But my uncle, their great uncle, was one of the first Black people to sing in the Augusta Choral Society in Augusta, Georgia. And so our home, my home before we had children, was always had a great appreciation for really good music that came from Uncle Marvin. And so with these kids, and they have a sister, our daughter, and my wife Chandra, we loved music. And the key thing for in our home is it just had to be good music. That was it. And so that means that the thing that I think, and these guys can talk about it, the only thing that we would do is provide just a wide range of wonderful music. And it didn't mean it could matter if it's country, if it was gospel, classical, it could be an opera, it could be whatever. But the main thing was if it was really good music. And I think and I'll do two things quickly here. When Trey was very small, meaning I'm talking about like 2 years old, Chandra and I noticed that he was very, very sensitive to melody, to music. And so we have a story about being in the Denton Mall, which I know doesn't exist now, where a piece of music would come on. Okay. And it'd be playing, and Trey would have tears in his eyes, and maybe I guess he must have been 3. So we'd ask, what was it? And he'd say the music touched his heart. So we knew that he was especially sensitive to music. For Roman, his experience of music was something that just kind of just evolved. And I remember we were living in Louisville at the time. This is several years ago. And Chandra and I are in the living room, and all of a sudden we hear somebody singing an Italian aria. And we think it is a recording of somebody singing, but it is Roman who has taught himself how to sing Italian and how to sing this particular aria. And then we'd hear this music, somebody playing on the piano, playing Claire de Lune, and it was Roman who had taught himself. The long story short of it is this, that we didn't really, and I didn't do this, I didn't really push them into music, Nick, because that would be death.
Oh yeah.
It's one of those things where my great contribution to them is just don't touch.
Yeah. And that's amazing.
That sort of work. Don't touch.
Yeah, that sort of worked with me.
Yeah.
I was performing music, and both my kids played like in band early on, but everybody would always say, man, why don't you guys keep playing or go on stage with your dad or something? But they'd be like, I'm thinking about something different. Yeah. And they just, one's in journalism and one moved on to education, but it's pretty amazing. But it is rare that even when you say it was not like a plan, that they both became so successful and, and seem to enjoy and love the craft the way they do.
Yeah, they're both very good writers. I would just tell you that. I'm going to stop here, but both of them are very good writers. They understand melody really well. And that's the thing I enjoy about listening to them and, their recent soundtrack. Some of it is just absolutely stunning. I listened to it earlier today. the track where it says, from the antebellum, where we go tonight. When
Yeah.
you hear that piece of music, that is a wonderfully rich, really well crafted piece of music.
Right.
Extraordinary. So anyway,
So
that's enough for me.
and Roman, you guys both got to jump in because I read an article about you guys recently about the Antebellum soundtrack, and you were saying that you based your composition a lot on just the storytelling portion because you wrote it mostly without seeing any of the video. I mean, at least
Yeah,
that's what was in the Essence
yeah,
article. I'm sorry about it, but that's the way I kind of interpret it, is that you guys read the story and had visions of the music, even just from the from the printed words. And I thought that was amazing because, like I say, people that score films a lot of times write to the frame and try to line
sure,
everything up. But
sure,
I was pretty
and
amazed, and
absolutely.
yeah, I was amazed
I mean,
after listening to it that you guys wrote it that way.
well, and certainly, writing to the actual film itself is the normal practice, and so
Right.
and it is its own art,
Yeah,
and certainly
absolutely.
we learned a lot about doing that because we had to do that with a lot of the film as well. So we learned a lot about that. This being our first time really committing to do the entire underscore for a film. And so, but we jumped at the chance, first of all, to just do a movie. And I don't know if you see my brother, he gets emotional. We get emotional thinking about
I'm
this
just thinking about
sometimes.
Dad, thinking about the song. That just really touched my heart. I mean, this is really
Yeah,
a wonderful opportunity to just spend this time with my dad, being able to talk about it. I'll be honest,
yeah.
I didn't expect that to happen, but oh, all you want
It's
to
a
do
really
is
crazy,
all I
like,
want to do is make my dad proud when I'm working on music. And boy, I tell you,
yeah, yeah. And really, I mean, it's a full circle moment for us, Nick, just as a family, for him to really go the full way down that path of getting his PhD, which, anybody that has gone through any sort of higher education, whether it's a master's or PhD, how difficult, arduous, trying, how much discipline it takes, how much commitment, and then re-upping on that commitment it takes to go do that. So he did that for the sake of our family
yeah,
and for his love of music and to honor
yeah,
our Uncle Marvin, as he said. And so this is a really full circle moment for us. So we don't, as my grandfather would say, we don't take it lightly.
right.
But
Absolutely.
and so in terms of the film, we jumped at the chance to do it because we just thought, man, what an incredible opportunity! First of all, to jump into the music industry, I mean, to the film scoring industry, and we've been given this great opportunity by Lionsgate, who is a very reputable studio. And so as soon as we got the script, we thought, well, let's get ahead of the curve. Let's get ahead of it. And we having worked on Janelle's stuff, certainly prepared us in a certain kind of way because we were always, Nate will tell you, we were always trying to get away, see what we can get away with in a
Right.
pop record. How cinematic can we make it?
Yeah.
So let's put some overtures in it. How much storytelling can we do with just the music and the melodies? And so when we got the opportunity to do it, when we just got the words in front of us, it was like, all right, what's up? Let's get some string players over here. Let's try some stuff out.
So you got to tell me now, from listening to it, do you guys work like in an organic standpoint where you actually like do notation and create it with the piano and then add instruments from there, or do you kind of just create it with
We
synthesizers and then have somebody else transcribe it?
we have done both ways, but
Mm-hmm.
for this process, we both know certain instruments that we love, and we have great players that trust us to experiment in front of them and with them. And so what we did was we basically had some, loose ideas, and then we call our friends up, ask them to come to the studio. The players that are our friends, call them up, ask them if they would come over and, try some ideas out with us, and then just kind of record it from there, see what happens. Sometimes the notation can be one thing, but the emotion of it is a very specific, different thing.
Absolutely.
Very much
And so a lot of times it does come down to really figuring out what kind of performance can you get out of this moment? What can these notes actually, what can they actually convey?
Yeah, because there's only 12. So, right. So unless you're going to an Eastern scale, Western music has, 12 notes altogether. So, it really does come down to the performance. It comes down to the sequencing. It comes down to the intervals and all these things. And so intonation, absolutely. The player's attitude, the conducting, all these things really do matter, as we have found out through the course of this process and other things that we've worked on. But in terms of like musical notation, I find that is helpful if I'm somewhere like a movie like, or if I'm somewhere like I'm not supposed to be, like going to sneak out to like record a voice memo or something. Sometimes, you know, it's helpful to, even if it's just like jazz notation, like 1-4-5 or like whatever it is, a melody. Being able to write musical notation has been the most helpful for me in that regard, where
Right.
I'm somewhere quiet and it's like I need to pray real quick. So and we write this little prayer down.
I do that. I just leave out a letter for room, my man.
Oh,
yeah, he's been known to leave an exam, a final exam, to record a song. So,
so
Nick, that's a real story. I mean, this is a story about Trey on scholarship at Morehouse. He's getting ready to take, is it a physics exam, Trey? Which one is it?
Mathematics.
Math exam. So, and he's going to lose his scholarship if he doesn't. I mean, this is not.
Here's the thing. I was doing fine in the class. It was fine.
It's not a joke.
I was doing fine in the class. I had the fine grades in the class. But this one time, I was in the middle of an exam. It was a big exam, and I had a song come to me in the middle of the exam. And I got up in the middle of the test, and I didn't finish the test, and I went to write that song. And I lost both my scholarships that year.
Oh, that's a tough one there.
It was a tough one. And my dad was like,
"Ooh, boy, you ain't got good sense."
I see you crazy. So you need to probably go to the Army.
Man, so I guess along that same line, so like, did you guys find that like writing, having the freedom to just write music, I shouldn't say pop music, but writing just songs for artists or tracks versus being confined to to the soundtrack idea, how do they weigh in terms of you guys like enjoyment, or is it just the same thing? You like them both the same?
Very different, very different. But I wouldn't call soundtrack confined or score confined, because really in score you can you don't have to return to something sometimes. Sometimes you can just you can just go and you can go far. And on a song you need to get back to that hook faster. Yeah. Because ain't nobody wants to hear all that stuff you talking about. They want to hear the hook, and that's what they really focused on. So
did the engineers
sometimes
play a big part?
Much more confining.
Did the engineers, like after you guys saw the movie in post and all that, did it sound like you envisioned, or were you kind of part of the whole process from start to finish?
Absolutely. The mixing engineers did a fantastic job.
Yeah, we were pretty much every room.
Yeah, man, that is amazing.
Out of our sight very long. From conception to mixing and mastering.
And Nick, I got actually invited to be in the studio when they were recording in Los Angeles. So
he did
come to extraordinary blessing. I'm there watching them.
We had about a 60
amazing
person orchestra.
Oh man, that's beautiful.
Amazing musician from Los Angeles at the Jim Henson studio, and I'm watching these two with their conductor and all the engineers, and it was a really important, one of those moments a father would never forget. And their mom was there too.
So hey, when did you guys move? You guys moved directly from Atlanta to Los Angeles?
We've been staying out here since COVID.
Oh, so very recently. Oh, I assumed that you had been there for years and years.
We've been out. I mean, we've done a lot of work out here, so we spent a majority of the last few years here, just out of necessity. But we have now a base here that we can actually work out of consistently.
Oh man,
that we really in fact happened because of COVID.
Yeah, we got trapped out of here. I mean, we were out here we finished the score on what was that? January 5th.
January 5th, rather.
Which is our niece's birthday. Mm-hmm. Happy 9th birthday, George! Or 9th month.
9th month
today or yesterday. So yeah, she was born that same night actually that we were recording with the orchestra, which was really special for our family. But we went to the Oscars after that, maybe like a month later, something like that, right, Nate? And then
we worked on the Oscars, and then after we worked on the Oscars, we were basically
we were here
right after that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, man, that is just fantastic the way you guys made those moves, man. And you took the COVID and took the weather and everything with you and just kept rolling. Like you can't let things in these outside factors, affect what the big plan is, man. And that's something that a lot of artists I know and I come across,
some are damn.
They're very, very, right in the moment oriented, and you guys you kept pushing. And I mean, even though you're young cats, but you guys have done a lot. As I had to go back and look over the last 10 years, I was like, man, I guess, Harry and Linda really knew what they were talking about, because these cats, they got more resume than I really realized, So I've been listening to a lot of
Hey
great
man,
music
we
you guys have
trying.
done over the years.
That's
We
very kind.
trying.
Yeah. So
We're just still building.
so like from this point, I mean, are you what's next on the plate? I mean, I don't want to just skip past Antebellum, because that was
No. Yeah,
pretty crazy movie for me checking it
number
out.
one for 2 weeks. That's good. We're strong. We're happy
Yeah.
about that.
We'll take that, especially for a debut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's see. Roman has an album that he's finishing up right now. My album, I'm finishing that up right now. We're in
His
the studio
album is
with
done.
Janelle, working right now. Finished means mixed and mastered, so it's not mixed and mastered yet.
All right, that's right.
Yeah.
That's true.
But we're working we're in the studio with Janelle. We just got finished working on a song with her for Stacey Abrams' documentary, which and shooting a video for that. So we're very thankful for that.
Is that turntable track?
Yes, turntables.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Monster.
that was
That's
fun.
right.
And
Jaden is on the way over here tonight. We're working on his project.
Jaden is on the way to the studio right now. He'll be here in probably a couple of hours. So we are actively working on music right now. Actively writing, recording, working on film. Right, we have a film company, a film production company, and so we're producing film. We have television that we're producing. So we've got some pretty significant projects.
So I think what you're saying is that you're going to be a regular person working with the Denton Black Film Festival in this upcoming year and in the future.
We'd love to contribute.
I see so many collaborations and opportunities.
Yes.
So this is just a great night for us to talk and get to know each other better like this, man. That's great. So so are you guys very familiar with the festival itself? I mean, as far as just
we weren't. No, I mean, Auntie Linda called maybe two months ago or something like that, and gave us the rundown. But I mean, I think what you guys are doing is fantastic. I think being able to feature, certain young Black artists, like filmmakers, it's a really necessary space, and certainly opening up in a community like Denton.
We have had interactions in other Black film festivals, and the impact that they have on a community and city is always
significant,
really positive and important one. We've lived in arts towns, so if you think Wake Forest, where there's School of the Arts, and we have Black Film Festival there, and we really believe that having spaces where artists can, I mean, again, even going back to the original way that we met up with the one and founded the Wonderland Art Society, was born out of the need to actually create spaces for artists to thrive and develop and ask themselves and each other questions. I mean, the Dark Tower Project, our first things we did was invite people to screen their films there. So it was we would screen Sweetback's Badass Revenge there.
Okay.
We did Sunrise, Space of the Place. So we are all about trying to give space to film, Black film, and seeing what Black people have to say.
Yeah. So you guys got to tell me this. So all three of you. So what are your most fond or I guess what memories do you have of Denton and your early coming up, and of course you, Nat, also, about just how things were in your when you came up, and Nat when you were a student here and all that. So Nat, you could probably jump in first, I guess.
Okay. Well, I will just reflect briefly, Nick, that growing up in Denton, obviously we moved there in '78, and the idea was I would go to school to actually I was going to just work on a master's degree in music. But when I got there, my major professor said that they thought I had what it took to earn a doctorate degree in music, which I had not really considered. The only thing is, there's this one little small thing. I had to take 131 hours of deficiency before I could get started, because my undergraduate degree is in philosophy, master's degree is in television and film. And so all the training I had in music, I'd learned on my own. And I'd written music I'd written music for film. I wrote a musical for my master's thesis when I was at the University of South Carolina. So I was self-taught. And I played guitar, and I played flute, and I played a lot of instruments. But here you come to a big time school like the School of Music, it's a whole different thing. So anyway, I got all that done. But, to kind of narrow down the most important memories of Denton, I think it summarizes in the number of friends that we met. And of course, Harry and Linda, that's where we met Harry and Linda, and two of our dearest friends. And a lot of how we built our family was around the church and around the school and around music. But music, the central identity. I mean, when you're in the doctoral program, it was every day, man. I was sight singing every day. You know what I mean? I was having to learn. I mean, it was intense experience, and eventually I got out of it. But in terms of Trey, that was where he first took music lessons from one of my professor's wives. Trey got to see that he would, we have pictures of him with Dr. Martin Mailman, who was my major professor. Roman was too small because he's born in '86. He wouldn't have very good memories at that time. And but the music would just be interwoven with everything of my existence because that was the primary thing. It wasn't until '87 or '88 that I realized, and this is what I got from Harry. I'm not going to make enough money being a music professor. Harry was making a lot more money. He's an MBA graduate. He and Linda. And I'm going, I had these 3 kids. And I was also doing something else, Nick, and I'll wrap this up. I was also director of corporate and foundation relations for the university. I've always had an interest in higher education. So in '87, I decided I was going to be a college president. So that's when my interest in music as a profession, I put it aside. But in terms of how it would come back, is it never left me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like Trey and Roman. For a good melody, I'm not any good. For good melody, it would grab me right now. So I never left music. I play right now. I'll play when I get home. And I played last night at 1:00.
That's real talk, man. I tell people all the time. They say, "Well, man, I mean, I'm like, I'm never going to retire from being a musician."
Oh, no.
I mean, it's the most fun job I'll ever have. Now, will I keep going out to try to be a musician and work in clubs? But probably not. But ultimately, as long as I can hold a bass in my hand, I'm going to play it.
Oh no, man.
Well, man, that's the thing. I remember the first time I really realized. Let's see, I had maybe been playing guitar for like 3 years, and I had done some. I tried to get more intensely into kind of the theory of music and how to understand how can I play a song after hearing it 2 times. That was kind of my goal. And so once I captured that, I kind of went deeply in. I was on tour, and then I kind of took a break from playing the guitar for a little bit. You know how that can be so wonderful when you haven't played for a minute, and then you come back to your instrument and it just sounds like brand new. Mm-hmm. And in that moment, I realized something I'll never forget. I was like, man, look at this gift I've given myself. Mm-hmm. Of like putting in the time to learn how to play this thing. And now I can derive joy from it. I can express myself with it. I would never want to give that up. I would never want to retire that.
Yeah, no doubt.
Even just for me. For me.
Yeah, I hear you, man. That's beautiful, man. That's great to see. And Nate, I mean, what memories you have of Denton itself?
I think
first girlfriend. Come on, give me
right
something,
about
man.
Just friends. Friends and like the family and the structure that they provided for me. I do remember piano lessons. I remember
and playing violin.
I remember my dad writing music a lot though. I remember like seeing him at the piano with his pencil in his mouth and a blank piece of composition paper. Yeah. And he would just be going in. And then I remember seeing Stevie Wonder albums sitting around. I used to think that my dad was Stevie Wonder because they both would wear glasses all the time.
They did both wear those
Ray-Ban glasses. That was my dad on the album. Aviator. I had no clue. And yeah, I remember seeing that kind of stuff. I remember them playing music all the time. And I just remember just a wonderful space of just friendship, love, and music. And it just felt whole.
And we loved music at Moore Street. I mean, that was the choir that was there. Tab O'Hare, who used to conduct the choir, and others. It was part of the enrichment of the place of being in Denton, because music. I mean, Denton is known for music.
Oh yeah, music. Well, you'd be amazed. I play at Moore Street occasionally now.
Oh, is that right? Oh man, we used to rock the house.
Wow.
So that's
That
pretty
was
funny,
that was a
man.
project that was dear to, Harry and Linda will tell you more about that story, but that was a part of our family.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's great, man. That's great to hear, man. Because a lot of musicians that come through UNT, I mean, they really have to, especially African American, they really have to kind of make that pilgrimage
Yeah.
through
Oh,
Southeast
yeah.
Denton to kind of make a real connection as to having been in Denton and to meet people and kind of see the fabric of, because Denton has a lot of weird history with like Quakertown and all that stuff that it's
Absolutely.
really just kind of surfacing now,
Interesting.
So it's pretty amazing, just that whole, to see you guys, all over the country and the world, but, to
Low
relate it
Memorial
all the way
Hospital.
back to,
Flo
to Moore
Memorial
Street,
Hospital. That's right.
Yeah, that is amazing, man. So any artists you guys like, I mean, any artists you guys want to work with? I know it's kind of a weird thing to say because sometimes you don't want to like spill the beans, but anybody out there that you hear that like, man, I'd love to work with that artist or up and coming that we might not even know about yet.
I don't know about up and coming, but John Williams, if you hear this, you want to come give us composition tip classes. We actually got a chance to meet John Williams at the Oscars.
At the
It was
Oscars.
just like, it was even just to see him in the seats. It was like touching, just to think of the scores that had like been in our lives and just be like, man.
Oh yeah, that's the master of so many scores and soundtracks.
Yeah, he did hit my road.
Yeah,
forgot about that.
That's like half the movies out there. John Williams, all the big movies, Yeah,
tremendous.
That's crazy, man. That's cool. Tremendous. I mean, I love to see you guys have such a diverse background and what you appreciate in music, and that's certainly a reflection of your upbringing. Because I mean, to be honest, a lot of artists, especially if they do hip hop, that's all they do, and they don't. If you mention John Williams, they like, who is that? I mean,
right.
and that's, I get it. People.
I mean, sure, he started. He started way, but he's 50 years into the business now, so
right.
Yeah,
way more.
And he was a jazz musician, so
70 years in the business.
Yeah. So, but I mean, you always have to pay respect. I used to tell my kids all the time, no matter what you do and what you enjoy and appreciate it, your brain is big enough to appreciate like Duke Ellington, Stevie Wonder, John Williams. It's not going to take away from you knowing hip hop, Jay-Z.
No.
Because you know who John Williams is. But so many people kind of skate over that part of it. Like, well, man, I'm just into this. And you could tell the well-rounded person that kind of, they can relate to so many things. And they could be in a room with John Williams and, hey, man, I'm more interested in this talking to John Williams than I am in what's going on out here on this camera. Because I've been knowing about you, like when you guys were at the Oscars, that kind of situation. That's amazing, man. That is great, man.
Yeah.
Very exciting. Yeah. In terms, I'm interested in ideas, so I'm interested in working with artists that have big ideas. Sometimes that's directors, sometimes that's writers, sometimes that's singers, sometimes it's, it just depends. But I'm interested in people with big ideas.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you have a preference of like writing and producing or being out front? I know you both said you got projects coming out, solo projects, but do you have a preference from that standpoint?
I mean, yes, writing is something that I enjoy extremely. I really just have a real.
What about you, Rome?
I do enjoy writing as well. I love composing. But there is something about being on stage that I really, really enjoy. I really do. When I'm prepared, prepared,
yes,
and when I have something to offer that I feel like I really do have to offer the whoever the public is, it comes from my heart. It's the same. What I try to channel or what I try to just make sure that I'm able to tap into via the preparation is the same joy that I see Stevie Wonder perform with, that we saw Prince perform with, that you see any great artist really come with. That's I don't know. I think I love them equally.
Presentation is always really, really special. Like being able to have a chance to present the music is always special.
Yeah.
The only thing about it is that it's a lot of times it's not recorded. It's like a one-off thing, and so it's always, it has there's a fire about it. It burns and then it's gone.
Yeah.
Whereas with recording, you can hold on to that for a little longer, which is, secretly I like that.
Yeah. So have you guys like seen, or I guess I should say, have you guys like recognized any trends just COVID we're in now, of course, we don't know where it's going to go from now to the 6 months or a year from now. But as far as like a lot of artists are really hurting trying to get out here and make money and don't have
Yeah.
shows and trying to stream
Yeah.
everything and get tips online and all that.
Right.
I mean, what's you guys' take on just like the music business in general going forward? Because it seems like to me, and I'm a little bit older than you, but it's not going to come back the same way it was 12 months ago. Even people who had like festivals and tours and shows, but
Sure.
it's going to come back in some kind of way.
Sure.
But it's amazing, like how it can shift so fast. And artists, they're like they're like lost, up the
Yeah.
creek without a paddle.
I think
Live
that,
music artists, I should say.
I mean, the truth is, this is not the first pandemic that the world has experienced. I'm sure that there were concerts going on when the pandemic of 100 years ago happened, and then they stopped it, and then they came back, and then all of a sudden there was a whole new industry of music based on recorded music that happened that
Right.
they were unaware was going to even be there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I believe in the value of music as a just in the concept of, I think it is the, I don't know how to, I mean, other than to say it is a universal language that we're not going to get rid of anytime soon.
Yeah.
So I think that it will still matter to people. I think the way that people convene around music has to change in the short time that we have right now. But over time, I think we'll get back to wanting to enjoy music together, because it is something that is, to me, best shared with other people.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, I was just speaking from a standpoint of like the struggle of the current day artists.
Yeah, sure.
Who aren't prepared. Like, if you got a soundtrack, if you got other things that you're doing, that gives you, you're kind of prepared to move forward. But some artists just really depend on having fans in front of them.
Yeah.
And, that's a tough proposition. Like kind of like what your father was saying earlier about.
Yeah.
He kind of made a decision in 1987 to
Yeah,
become
it's not making enough money right there.
Yeah.
I think that's one issue. That's one way to look at it. But I think that also the music industry has also changed significantly in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Regardless of the pandemic, it's changed significantly in the last 10 years, last 15 years, very different. Last 20 years, very different. So I think that music has had some significant upending that's happened.
Yeah.
Because of just the digitization of of sound. So
yeah,
I think that this is a time for artists to continue to create songs, make songs that people can use in their lives. The music industry in general is not actually, music companies, recording companies, they're not really struggling right now because they're making money, because people, even in pandemics, people are still listening to music. Streaming may be down, but they're still, they turned it into subscription. So
yeah,
it's a utility now. It's like water. And water, we still like water. Yeah, we still like water.
so Nat, you got to chime in here. You being of a certain age and having been a musician, have you transitioned from analog, or I should say from physical music to streaming in a big way, or you still kind of straddle the fence? Like I still have a huge vinyl collection. When I say huge, I mean several thousand, and I have even tons of CDs. But in general, I listen to the what's streaming, and I use I don't want to use brands, but Google Music, YouTube Music, and I just make my own playlist. And my CDs kind of collect dust, but I can, for $10 a month, I can listen to 1,000 different artists.
Yeah.
So Nat, do you still have a big music collection itself that you put the turntable on?
No, I don't, but I do prefer analog sound because of what analog offers.
Yeah.
And I can often tell when something is analog. So I prefer that. But in context of how the most way that I consume music, it's digital.
Yeah.
And but I have a wide range. My kids know I listen to everything from around the world. I send them things that I think are interesting, and I'm sort of eclectic.
Yeah.
He absolutely is.
Yeah. So you're a Renaissance man, because I know people, let's just say, maybe 50 and up, they still kind of hang on to records and vinyl, and there's a lot of them are resistant to making playlists or thinking that it's a real big thing to
man, I couldn't imagine doing that, because I'm always in search of that next unbelievable piece of music. And so, and then I found a piece the other day that I think I sent to Roman and Trey by this British group that I just said, listen to this.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that's one of the great joys of Nick, of being with these two boys, is we get to talk music.
Oh man.
right? You know what I mean? We just get to talk music, and
Yeah.
there's a shorthand in it too.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
really kind of fun to be with them, and so they're looking for the same thing I'm looking for, which is
Yep.
like, man, did you hear this?
They grab you like they grab me, man.
Yeah,
Oh
did
yeah.
you hear this?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it could
Yeah.
be from any place, and
Yep.
it could be any segment, like I was saying about listening to We Go Now. When you listen to, and I'm encouraging this audience here, go listen to that piece of music and tell me if that is not just a special, perfect piece of music. Just listen at how that unfolds. And I won't go long here, Nick, but that, just thinking about their music and their process and what they've written over these last 10 to 15 years. And the thing that I have loved about their music is they can write something. They can write an overture, as they did in the on the Wonderland albums, Arc Android and Dirty Computer. Albums like that. But then they can go and also write music for Disney, right?
Oh
They can
yeah.
go and do that, right? And that to me is sort of the kind of concept of why you can do that if you listen to a wide range of music.
Oh
And
yeah.
that, I think, is
Absolutely.
kind of gets at what your question was about. If you can accept that the music comes in, the solution for solving musical problems, it comes from a lot of different ways. And man, you can find magic a lot of different places if you
Oh
look.
yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely, man.
Next thing you
That's
know, you've
great.
written Sally Ride, which I encourage you to listen to, Nick.
Oh yeah, well, believe me, after I started digging into, the work of all three of you, I just really, found so many things, and I kept trying to, because it's so funny. Well, in this business, with this film festival, this is our first year going virtual. So I think I kind
Uh-huh.
of told you earlier, like I've been used to producing a large in-person concert. Like we've
Sure.
had Kirk
Sure.
Whalum, we've had Jasmine Horn,
Yeah.
Frank McComb, a great piano player, singer. Just trying to get people in a room, and
Yeah.
that was the event. And just like that, here we are this year. We're
Yeah.
doing monthly events to keep our audience engaged, and it's made music totally different. So, for instance, this
Mm-hmm.
year we actually are doing a original music video submission versus doing a big concert. So
Wonderful.
we're
That's
looking for
great.
That's
artists,
so cool.
like you guys, or like anybody who has content that's black oriented, or
There you
produced
go.
by blacks, or black, featuring, that we will kind of put on our platform
Yeah.
to expand our audience. Which kind of plays right into what you guys saying about you like film, you
Yep.
like hip hop records, you like all the
Yep.
different aspects of being
Yep.
involved with it.
Yep.
So that's pretty amazing. You have to be kind of fluid, and especially in
That's
this
right.
last 6 to 12 months, you have to be
Get
extremely
with.
fluid,
It's right. Exactly right.
to
Yeah.
roll with these
Yeah.
punches. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that is
Absolutely.
cool, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. I don't know. I don't know. It's just so amazing. Like I say, to see you guys just kind of laid back and have so many things on your plate, and handle them the way you should, man. That's encouraging to see, man. I look forward to like just seeing more things in the future that I'm sure I'm going to hear about coming up. So
Yes.
is like so do you guys like work with Janelle, like kind of most of her music production kind of goes through you guys, or she has other, I'm sure she works with other people, but still you guys are kind of the home base for what
Hmm.
she puts out there?
Yep. 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 We have the
Yeah.
privilege of
Indeed.
being able to work with her, and to hear her ideas, to listen closely, and to try to figure out how to bring those ideas to life.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's funny, man, because I can remember years ago, I think, and she originally from Kansas City or
Kansas
somewhere.
City, Kansas.
Yeah, I
Yep.
remember her opening or doing some show with Erica Badu, and she was
Yep.
like,
Oh
she was
yeah.
unknown or whatever, but
Yep.
I
Oh
was like, man,
yeah.
this is a really amazing artist. I think she was
Yeah.
doing this kind of
Oh
like this,
wow. Yeah,
this kind of
because Erica's of course from Texas,
from Dallas. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
Dallas,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly.
So,
Yeah.
so
So
I kind of put the two together. This may have been
yeah.
at least 15, 18 years ago, maybe longer. But I was kind of blown away by, her energy and what it was all about. I was like, man, she's up there jumping around like, got more going on than Erica. And she was like totally unknown.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah.
see you guys, being a part of that collective is a great, a great blend
Yeah.
of talent, I'm sure,
Erica's
to be
incredible and a
involved.
wonderful
Yeah.
person and friend, and she's very special.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's
man.
what's up.
Yeah. We were at that show because we were working that show.
Yeah,
That was when
it
we
could
were
have been
running
15 years ago. It
Janelle
must have been
Sound.
like 10, maybe
10 years.
10 years
I think that was like 10. Yeah, 2011. Nate.
Yeah,
I
11,
think,
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah,
I
9
think
years ago,
Linda,
probably.
I think
Yeah.
Linda and Harry got a chance to come to that show, right?
Yeah,
From us?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I think
I
they
think so.
did.
That was at the Nokia Theater. No, that's out here.
No, that's
That's
LA,
Los
man.
Angeles, yeah.
Yeah, but I
I forget.
We would have been
I
there,
remember
though.
that. Yeah, so it was
Yeah.
like 10 years ago, man. Time
You
flies.
definitely been there
Right,
working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. That's great.
Mhm.
Man, that's just cool. So then you guys gotta tell me now, what instruments do you play like proficiently that you like practice on, or like that you feel like you get on stage and deal with?
I spend
When-
time playing my mind mostly.
I heard guitar, but what other instruments do you guys play?
I'm always chasing the idea. I don't practice like I should. I'm more, like I said, I spend more time practicing my mind. Roman practices guitar often.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my
And
favorite.
piano.
Guitar is my favorite instrument to play on stage because of course, I can move around, and it's the mobility of it is and the expressive and the rhythmic nature of it. But of course, as a corollary, I played bass in college, so that was kind of like I actually picked that up before guitar. Piano was the first instrument that I was introduced to at a young age.
Yeah.
Via lessons with Dr. Bell. You remember that, Dad, at
Absolutely. Winston-Salem State University.
Taking Suzuki lessons, learning how to play by ear. That was wonderful. Right. Yeah. So, but we have plenty
you guys
of fun
program a
things
lot
to
of
play
beats and stuff for yourself.
I mean, we produce all this. I mean, we would play the instruments. It's just to say you said proficiently.
Proficiency.
Well, you know what I mean.
Proficiency. No, you play bass. And you play bass. And so if you get on stage,
we got cello in the
question
studio.
is, who do you really want to get on stage and play it?
Yeah,
I'll play it, but it's not going to necessarily be all the notes that you called out. It's notes that I might be thinking might sound good.
Well, that's why you hire somebody to play exactly like you want.
Exactly like you want. That's right.
I do most. Sometimes I do things in one take. Other times it's 100 takes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I would tell you this, Nick. And my boys have actually invited me to play on their album.
That's right. We get
that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Right? Can you imagine that?
That's what's up.
Even with my bad chops, they found a way to get Dad in.
Hey man, with all the technology, they can clean you up and make you sound like.
Oh man, I sounded like I was
right.
somebody.
Yeah.
You kidding me?
That's right.
So I know, hey, in the future, I got another parent child duo I want you guys to meet. So I'm related to some classical musicians.
Oh wow!
Who now the father was a fireman, not a musician, but Damari and Anthony McGill, their parents volunteer with the festival. They're from Chicago.
Oh,
fantastic!
But I don't know if you're familiar with them, but they're two of like the biggest classical musicians in the world. One's in New York Philharmonic, the other was in Seattle. But nonetheless, it's just I would love to do a soul talk and chop it up with like fathers and sons.
Yes,
just to get a crazy perspective, of like this whole lineage of music, because it's pretty funny. I mean, I grew up playing, but not with anybody in my family teaching me. I grew up in Memphis, so there was a lot of Memphis music and musicians all over the place.
Sure.
But it wasn't like somebody in my house I was listening to, other than the radio, and people just playing gospel music and stuff. But other people I know, like you guys, you really got some firsthand nurturing, even if it wasn't like go do this, it was part of your DNA, I guess.
We had somebody who respected the instruments in the house.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
right.
Exactly right. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I
Daddy's
think,
guitar.
say what, Trey?
Don't mess with Dad's guitar. Put that down.
That's right. Put that down.
But I did. But eventually, I gave you all my instruments, though, right?
Yeah,
you did. You did.
They have my Les Paul. They have my Fender Rhodes.
We got that Les Paul. That Les Paul is bad, boy.
You guys still got the Fender Rhodes?
All right, now you can have a little. All right, you can get my
right.
Yeah. All right, you get another nomination. All right, you get my art.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, well, that's a part of handing things over.
That's
and
right.
But they're very careful. I wouldn't dare care about an instrument with them. They know how to take care of things. And,
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, man, I mean, anything you guys want to shout out before I know we got a few more minutes to go on this talk, but I mean, I got to just tell you, It's amazing to have you guys on for our first music soul talk because within our DBFF family, all our different components have had a soul talk like film programming and poetry and different areas. And I was like, man, we got to do one for music. And I was like, who can I get? And Linda said, let's get them. And I was like, yeah, right. We're not gonna be able to get them. And you guys have just brought like so much like love, knowledge, and just just all encompassing to what we're trying to do and trying to build our audience worldwide for the festival.
Anything for Auntie Nelly.
So yeah. So
Anything for Auntie
Absolutely.
Nelly, yeah.
Anything for the Evies.
yeah, but that's what's up. That's what's up. So, I mean, anything you guys want to shout out or talk about that we haven't touched on? I mean, I had like a list of questions, but the conversation was so good, I didn't even want to like go with the methodology of question.
Sure.
And
We're
Yeah,
very
man.
just thankful that you've had us here. We're thankful for especially having our dad on.
Oh yeah.
We've done a few interviews, of course, but this one is stands out as one of the very special ones for us. Thank you so much for having us.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. I'll echo that, and then just in a spirit of gratitude, again, just want to honor our Uncle Marvin and
Yes.
the real musical hero, one of our great musical heroes who passed away earlier this year. We certainly will miss him, but we continue to carry on his legacy. And also want to thank, you'd mentioned earlier, some engineers, people that we worked with on this film. Certainly want to thank Leo Barenberg, who's one of our music editors,
Yep.
Nelle, Phil, who did mixing. Because you learn in the movies that it is certainly like a huge, when you're producing an album, it may be 30 people.
Yep.
Via Vinny conducting.
And Mama Jean for buying Dad his first guitar.
That's right. That's right. For believing in that boy.
That's
a
what's
great
up.
family story.
Yeah, man, that's what's up there, man. So yeah, man. So I don't know, just like you guys like so what's next? I mean after like what just like what's around the corner for you guys like next week, next month? I mean, y'all just working on your own projects and
we gave everybody at
looking for
Wonderland this week off, so we're the only people working right now.
That's right.
Okay.
Oh, is that right? That's good.
Yeah, it's a mental health week.
Mental health week. We
That's
gave
good.
everybody a break this week.
That's
Everybody has a
good.
week off.
Yeah. So tell me now, who came up with the name Wonderland? Because I know years ago that was Stevie Wonder's band used to be called Wonderland, way back in the 70s.
That was me. And he's
one of your
blessed.
mentors
He's
now,
blessed.
Trey.
Yeah, he's blessed that. So he loves us having Wonderland, and he loves us. So yeah.
Oh man, that's great, man. Yeah. I don't know if it was the band or maybe it was just the singers, the background singers. But anyway, I know he used to use that, with Wonder, not one with the A. But that's pretty cool.
And he had a studio out here too. Yep.
Exactly. Yeah. Man. Now, do you guys like working in the studio that you are leasing, or have you like
we own
built your own place?
Yeah, we had.
Okay.
We built our own during this COVID time.
That's right. In fact, we have a little construction right now.
Repairs to it right now. Sorry if it's any a little bit noise. He's having little repairs right now.
Oh no, man! It looks great. From this angle, the camera did you guys perfect. So that's what's happening, man. So hopefully, when all this breaks down, we can have you guys in person in Denton or in the Dallas area to do something with us. Maybe even who knows? We may have to do another Soul Talk and continue on with the behind the scenes studio business and all that. So
it'd be our pleasure, Nick.
Yeah. Man, so I know, man. I guess I can't take up your whole night. I know you guys got sessions to get to, and we just, like I said, I truly appreciate you guys coming on to help with us with the Soul Talk, and it was a talk because man, even before we even got started, we should have been rolling tape on the family reunion part of it before we even got to me, being a adopted family member now. So. Well, I guess I'm just going to have to say, man, thank you, Nat Irvin, Roman GianArthur, and Nate Rocket Wonder for being being great, participants, and for giving us so much insight as to what's going on with you guys in the music business, film business, and all that. So if we can ever do anything to, for a world premiere or anything, or what you guys got dropping, music or, film, don't hesitate to reach out to us because, we'll be your number one promoters in Texas for sure. So, absolutely.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, Nick. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Nat, anything you want to shout out? before we
Nick,
wrap
I
it up?
just thank you to Linda and Harry and all the as the founders of the Denton Film Festival, Black Film Festival. I agree with what Trey said earlier. It's so important as we go forward into the future to have organizations like this to be able to present the voices that have not been heard. And Wonderland is all about the future. The Denton Black Film Festival is all about providing voices an opportunity to be heard that have not been heard in the past, but can be heard now and in the future. And I think, the idea that how the festival has grown over the years, it's absolutely important for a place like Denton to embrace it, and for the DFW to embrace it, and for the world to embrace it. We need a lot more film festivals because there are a lot of stories that have not been told. And I guarantee you, young Black people want to tell their story, and they're going to tell their story. And I think film, music, art, that's the way to tell the story. And so happy to have had this opportunity to share in the success of the Denton Black Film Festival.
Thank you guys so much. So this soul talk is going to be coming up. This coming
The
Sunday. I
11th.
think it's October 11th. So it's going to be airing, I think, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. And our next Soul Talk is going to be November 8th at 6 p.m. with a gentleman by the name of Chester Higgins Jr. Now, he's a photographer, was on the New York Times staff for about 40 years, from I think 75 till well into the 2000s. And he's the author, public speaker, shot, just thousands and thousands of important things that were going on in the New York scene from the 60s on up till almost modern day. So we hope you guys enjoy this Soul Talk, and the next one's going to be great also. So we look forward to having this audience come back and check us out, and hopefully we'll have even all our music guests come back and check out Chester Higgins Jr. for the next Soul Talk.
Right.
So man, I guess I got to shout out also. Don't forget, if you guys know anybody that's wants to submit an original music video to the Denton Black Film Festival, we will be taking submissions from now until November 11th. And be sure and go to our go to Denton BFF.com. I'm forgetting my own website. And DentonBFF.com, and you can get all the submission information. It's through Film Freeway. And we also always got to shout out our big sponsor, NBC5 Texas connects us, because they do connect us with great promotion and a lot of good things. So we are happy to have them be on board for another year with us. So we thank you so much. Don't forget our social media. Don't forget to follow us on our social media. We got all those platforms, DentonBFF.com. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all those great things. So be sure and do that. We appreciate you guys hanging in there with us for our first Music Soul Talk, and we'll see you next time. And have a good night. We love you. Peace.